So I'm starting with a 6x6 piece of card, and let me just check. I'm going to put it on my scoreboard. I think I scored it at 1.5, then 3, and then yeah. So 1.5. I just had to check that, make sure you know my math. So 1.5, then 3, and then 4.5. Okay, so that's 4 equal bits. Turned it round and scored at 1.5. 3 and 4.5. So that should be your 4 equal bits. And then I have to remember now because I didn't print out my instructions for cutting bits off. But we cut away the 4 corners. So I'm going to just do that. Hope this is right, she says. We'll find out in a minute when we've cut them all, and then I go, oh, do you know how I said? I'm sure this is right. I made, I don't know how many of these when I went to Telford and did it as a swap, but they were little ditty ones, really small, and they just had 2 of the really tiny Cadbury's mini eggs in them. Yeah, I give them out as my swap. So you can make them, as I say, really small, or you could actually make a big massive one and have a proper sized Easter egg in it. But it's very adaptable because, as I say, you only need to be able to have a square that you can divide into 4 on the equal sides. So that's basically what we're left with now. And then we're just going to cut up this first score line in the middle of each of our squares now. So I'm going to cut up the middle of each of these ones, just to that next score line, like so. So we've done that now, we've got all these little, okay. And then I'm going to start kind of folding, because this is a good time now to fold and burnish. And you can use a foam folder if you like, and then just fold your middle ones as well. And then to actually put it together, you just bring the 2 squares that you've got the split in, you just bring them together. So you're going to tuck one back and bring one in front, and that will get glued. And then you'll go around just doing exactly the same. So tucking, so actually make sure that whatever way you go with the first one, you just keep that going round. So if you go the right over the top of the left one, then do that the whole way around. And if you do it the other way around, then obviously just make sure that they're all the same, just to keep it kind of in symmetry. And glue's fine for this. And you might notice that you have a little lip because of your scoring, and that's fine. Once you've glued those down, you can just come in and do a little bit of like trimming down there just to get rid of that, or you can do it before. It's entirely up to you, but just so you know, you can actually just do any kind of little bit of trimming, because you do find whenever you've got a thicker score line that sometimes you do get a little bit of a lip. Okay, so I'm gonna just start, and I'll do it just nice and slow. Get my glue. Now I'm just gonna get my glue. And I've done this one plain because I'm going to stick some little bits of paper on it just to show you that what you can do with these. So just, there we are, and then bring that up and glue that in place. And then, as I say, any neatening off that you need to do, you can do as it's glued. So I've got just a little overhang on that one. Just doing a little. Right, and then the next one. This one, so I'll just come in with my glue and then pick that up. Hold that in place for a minute just so it can take. Oops, With my box, I tried to go the other way on the score lines. That one's fine, doesn't need any trimming. And then the next one, yeah, it's fine now. It's just curling out a little bit. Okay. These are just lovely little treats. I mean, I know they would make really good little like teacher presents and stuff like that. Let's get my smaller scissors so that I can just get into there. Perfect. And then the last one, just lay on, and then bring that one up. And again, I'll just hold that in place for a second just so that the glue can take. And that makes a really pretty little shape of a box as well. And that's it. And then it's just a handle and decoration. The handle, I just said cut length of card. I think I said 3/4 of an inch by 6 inches or something like that. It's not an exact science. You might want a longer handle, you might want it shorter. That's entirely up to you. And I just want to show you a few ideas. That's it, yeah. So that's that. I have quite a few old style punches and things, like this one here, that when you punch, it creates like a little sort of ribbon idea. You might have a border edge punch that will give you a nice sort of frilled edge or whatever, just to say that you don't have to have a plain handle. And actually, if you wanted to, because I'm going to decorate this now with some paper, if you're using a directional paper, because it does end up a diamond shape, so just to be aware of that. So I'm just going to put the plain side on, but with the handle you could decorate it. You could even just add a little strip of the paper on it, but you will have to unfold it or you know, just break the fibers down in it so that when you bend it you don't get the card cracking. So I would say just either use your fingers, use a bone folder, or like I usually do, use the edge of my scissors. You could use the edge of your table and you just kind of run it down the side of the table. There's lots of ways that you can break fibers down in the paper. And I've got a little off strip here that I might just trim down, and I shall just trim that just to, what's that? I need a tiny bit cut off that. Let me just, probably about roughly, actually I did the full length, couldn't I? Thinking about it. So I'm just going to pop this in here and just eyeball, to be fair, what I think is going to be approximately. Okay, a little bit more of that, probably right there. So I'm going to do it so that I have a border on the, so when I put it down, I do have a little border of the white showing through like that. But because this is a handle, and I don't think it's going to matter about the direction for that, I think I'll have it with the flowers showing up on that. So, so say that's 3/4 of an inch, so that will be about 1/2 inch for your second layer there. 1/4 of an inch border. So I'll just stick some glue on that and pop that on there, and then I'll bone fold both of these actually, but I will give that glue a little bit of a minute to take. Now with your handle, if you've got a good strong glue, you could definitely just, you know, glue that on the inside. I'm going to glue it on both like this, but I'm going to use brads for mine. I'll show you. I'm going to punch a little hole in the box and then feed a brad through, and I'll actually put the brad through so that the nice bit of the brad is in the inside, and then the end sticks of the brad are on the outside, because I then will be decorating my box and I'll cover over the end of the brad, and it just means that if you were giving it to little fingers, when they put their hand in to get the chocolate, they don't get hurt with the pointy brad being on the inside. And I did have really, really minuscule tiny brads. As I say, I don't know where they are. I've lost them, so I've just grabbed whatever I could find in my box. These are the metallic brads. So I shall just use these, 2 of these. You can go smaller than this. So they're just like little split pins, basically, for those of you that haven't used brads before. They're just like a little split pin, and it means the handle can actually move, so you can lift the chocolate in and out. I would say if you're gluing the handle in place, then make it a little bit longer so that it gives room, because if you're like me, I'm just interested in the chocolate. I'm like the, the Cookie Monster. So I'm going to glue all my little flowers, glue all my little panels on. And I suppose you could do the brad and glue it under one of the panels. Actually, I could try that, actually, let's see. If I punch a hole in here, roughly about there, and then on the other side, it looks like it's my big hole punch. Should use my smaller one, but because I'm using bigger brads, hopefully it's not too bad. I'm just eyeballing this. I mean, obviously, please feel free to measure and stuff, but you know what I'm like, straight in there. So if I just open that out on there, and then if I glue my paper over the top of that, then we've got double protection actually from that being a little spiky. So as I say, I've got the nice bit of the brad, and I haven't put my handle in yet, have I? Silly sausage. So that's, I'm sure you were all shouting at me there on the screen saying, you haven't done your handle yet. Oh, it wouldn't be the same. So I'm just gonna punch this on both sides with my little, unfortunately Stamp don't do these lovely little hole punch things anymore, but I mean AK Success might do them, because I think they're the ones that used to make them for them anyway. So you might get them if you tried the AK Success brand. Right, okay, second time running, I'm going to just feed the brad through the handle. Actually, I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to feed it through the hole, and then I can stick my bit of paper over the top. Right, so then I'll come back. I'm going to just have to re-glue this because I've used a Cosmic Shimmer glue, and it dries really quickly. And now I can put my decoration on the outside. So just centering that up. So there you go. Then you've got that little brad covered actually. So I didn't think about that when I did the first one, but there you go. We'll learn as we go along. So the second one, I'm just going to do exactly the same. Pop the brad through the handle, then come through, stick it through that hole there. I've made a massive hole in this one by accident, so hopefully, yeah, that's fine anyway. And then grab one of my other little squares and then just pop that on there. And then the last one. And you could do some stamping on this. You could have a little Happy Easter, or just even if it was just a normal basket that you just wanted to give some chalky gifts in, because it's a nice little basket just to put a little gift in just in its own right actually. So yeah, then as I say, because we've used a little brad, you can just move the handle back out of the way to get the chocolate. But as I say, if you don't have brads in, please do use a bigger handle just for access. And then I just had some of that, I mean I got it quite a long time ago in Hobbycraft or the Works or somewhere, the paper, tissue paper kind of shredded, and I pop that in and then pop my cream egg in. And I have put flowers just punched out. That was an old Stampin' Up! One, the boho flower punch. I don't know how big the medium daisy is. Let me just see how big that is. It's probably a little bit big, to be fair. But I think you can trim this down and make it a smaller flower. I've seen somebody doing this once. Let me just see if I got a circle punch on my, I could just trim that down to just go along and knock off a few of those and just get a more kind of flatter edged look to my daisy, and then just shape those. I know they're not exact, but which flower is exact? And then I know these are just white, but just to give you an idea, we could just pop those together and then get a little bit of bling. So let me see if I've got anything on my table that I could use. I did say bring some flower punches if you had any. So I've got this old boho blossoms one, and I can make a little flower center. So I didn't have to go scurrying. You'll be pleased to know. So just stick that on there. And then I could just attach that on the front like that, which I'll do. So that was just using a bit of scrap off my paper with the medium, or off my table with the medium daisy punch. And I will, when I find my beautiful diamonds, I'll stick a big gem, big bit of bling in the center of that. And I could do exactly the same on the other side, but that gives you the idea. I mean, you can decorate it to your heart's content, however you would like to do it.